In the cold, dimly lit office of Chancellor Palpatine, Anakin Skywalker watches in horror as Mace Windu's lifeless body is hurled out of the window down to the streets of Coruscant below. The weight of his actions crashes down upon him. He has severed Windu's arm and allowed Sidious to strike the final blow. Kneeling, Anakin's mind races with guilt and disbelief, struggling to process the gravity of his actions. Palpatine, looming over him with dark satisfaction, begins his familiar, insidious speech.
You have done well, my apprentice. The Sith will rule the galaxy, and we shall have peace. You will now be known as Darth Vader.
As the words escape Sidious's lips, Anakin's eyes narrow to slits with a wave of clarity, and without hesitation, he ignites his blade and drives it into the unsuspecting Chancellor's frail body. Sidious's eyes widen in shock as he collapses lifeless to the floor. Anakin stands over the Sith, a mixture of guilt and grim determination marking the beginning of a new chapter for the galaxy. Anakin stands frozen, staring at the fallen Chancellor, his lightsaber humming softly before being deactivated. The gravity of his actions begins to weigh down upon him all at once, leaving him breathless and disoriented. He moves quickly, desperate to escape the scene and the overwhelming guilt that begins to suffocate him. As he reaches the doorway, the blaring sound of approaching footsteps fills the corridor. The Coruscant Guard, alerted by the commotion, arrives in force. Commander Fox's eyes widen in horror as he takes in the scene before him. The 3 slain Jedi Masters scattered across the floor, and Anakin standing over Palpatine's body, a lightsaber wound still smoking.
What have you done?
Fox's voice is filled with fury and disbelief as he levels his blaster at Anakin. Before Anakin can offer any explanation, Fox's command pierces the air.
Open fire.
The clamor of blaster fire erupts as the clones under Fox's orders start shooting. Anakin's reflexes kick in. He ignites his lightsaber once more, deflecting the bolts with practiced precision.
Stop! I didn't mean to...
He tries to shout over the chaos, but Fox isn't listening. What will Anakin do in this situation? With him not joining the dark side, he became a fugitive of the Republic. How would he escape? Would his friends be able to aid him in this crisis? Stay tuned for this episode of What If. And if you want more content such as this, be sure to like and subscribe. And comment down below what sort of scenario you want to see next. Fox lunges at Anakin, attempting to subdue him. In a desperate bid, Anakin uses the Force to push the clones away. They tumble to the floor, but Fox scrambles to his feet, reaching for his comlink.
This is Commander Fox. Anakin Skywalker has killed the Supreme Chancellor. We need immediate reinforcements.
His voice crackles with urgency. Panic surges through Anakin as he realizes the depth of the situation, spiraling out of control. Without another thought, he leaps out of the window, plunging into the dizzying heights of Coruscant. He slides down the sheer Senate building, the wind whipping around him, and grabs onto passing airspeeder. He rolls and leaps between vehicles, narrowly avoiding the blaster fire that erupts from below. As Anakin descends into the bustling, neon-lit lower levels of Coruscant, he knows he must vanish into the labyrinthine cityscape in order to survive. His mind races with thoughts of escape and survival. Amidst the chaos and confusion, he knows only one thing for certain: his life and the fate of the galaxy have changed forever. The galaxy is abuzz with the shocking news of Anakin Skywalker's alleged betrayal. As the Senate and the Jedi Council grapple with the implications, Obi-Wan Kenobi returns to Commander Cody on Utapau, exhausted but relieved to have defeated General Grievous. He is ready to refocus on the campaign against the droids when Cody delivers the unsettling news.
General Kenobi.
Cody says, his voice heavy with concern.
There's been a report that Chancellor Palpatine has been killed by Skywalker.
Obi-Wan's eyes widen in disbelief.
What? No, that can't be true. Where did you hear this?
Commander Fox saw it with his own eyes.
Cody replies.
The Coruscant Guard was there. They say Anakin killed the Chancellor and 4 other Jedi Masters.
Kenobi's heart sinks. This isn't the Anakin he knows. Distracted and deeply troubled, he orders Cody to continue the campaign.
Utapau is secure. I must return to Coruscant immediately and find out what truly happened.
With a determined resolve, Obi-Wan boards his Jedi starfighter and sets a course for Coruscant, his mind racing with questions and fears. Meanwhile, in the Senate chamber, An emergency meeting is convened by Vice Chair Mas Amida. The assembly is tense as Amida addresses the Senate with grim news.
We have received reports that Anakin Skywalker has assassinated Chancellor Palpatine, along with 4 Jedi Masters in his office. He is now the galaxy's most wanted criminal.
Gasps and murmurs spread through the chamber. Padmé Amidala, seated among the senators, is visibly shaken. She can't believe that Anakin would commit such acts without a compelling reason.
There must be some mistake.
She whispers to herself, her concern and suspicion of the situation ever growing. Amida continues,
In light of these events, I will assume the role of interim Supreme Chancellor. Wilhuff Tarkin will serve as my military advisor.
Tarkin stands and addresses the Senate, his voice cold and authoritative.
We will bring Anakin Skywalker to justice. For now, the Jedi will continue their role in the war against the Separatists. They are not to be involved in the investigation into the Chancellor's murder.
Tarkin's words are calculated. While he acknowledges the Jedi's utility in the ongoing war, he is keenly aware of their potential interference in the search for Anakin. This strategy serves his dual purpose, keeping the Jedi occupied and out of political affairs while he consolidates his own power. As the meeting concludes, Padmé's heart is heavy with dread. She resolves to find the truth about Anakin, sensing there is more to this story than meets the eye. The galaxy's fate hangs in the balance as old alliances dissolve and new conflicts arise. Kenobi's Jedi starfighter descends hastily into the bustling streets of Coruscant. The city's lights flicker below as he lands near Padmé Amidala's apartment. His heart is heavy with anxiety as he strides towards her residence, hoping that Anakin might be hiding here. The door swings open, revealing Padmé with tear-streaked cheeks.
Obi-Wan.
She breathes out, her voice cracking with worry.
Anakin isn't here.
She utters, attempting to regain composure. Kenobi's face contorts with concern.
Do you know where he might be?
Padmé shakes her head, her expression filled with desperation.
No, I've been trying to reach him, but...
Padmé begins to sob. After consoling the senator, Kenobi pulls out his comlink and contacts Sin Dralig, the Jedi Battlemaster.
Sin, it's Obi-Wan. Has Anakin returned to the temple?
Sin's voice crackles with a hint of concern.
No, Master Kenobi. We've checked the records. He hasn't been here since the incident, nor has he been sighted by any of our clones.
Kenobi sighs, feeling the weight of the situation pressing down on him. If Anakin isn't at the temple or with Padmé, then he's likely hiding in the labyrinthine lower levels of Coruscant.
I'll search the lower levels,
he tells Padmé.
We need to find him before it's too late.
Padmé's eyes flash with determination.
I hope you realize I'm coming with you.
Kenobi hesitates but reluctantly nods, understanding her resolve.
Very well, but we must be cautious. Amida and Tarkin have forbidden any Jedi involvement, and they will charge us with treason if they catch us.
They quickly don disguises, blending into the shadows of Coruscant's underbelly. The lower levels are a maze of neon lights, grime, and danger. They avoid the Coruscant guard and unscrupulous characters, making their way towards Dexter's diner. Upon arriving, Kenobi finds his old friend Dexter at the counter.
Dex,
Kenobi mutters quietly.
have you seen Anakin?
Dex looks up, puzzled, almost convinced the Jedi is joking.
No. Funnily enough, I haven't come across Coruscant's most wanted.
He chuckles in a sarcastic response. Kenobi leans in, lowering his voice.
I believe Anakin has been set up. I need to find him before someone else does.
Dex's eyes narrow with understanding.
Understood, Master Kenobi. I'll keep an eye out for him. If I hear anything, I'll let you know.
With a grateful nod, Kenobi and Padmé leave the diner and continue their search through the lower levels. They explore hidden alleyways and abandoned warehouses, following every lead they can find. Meanwhile, Tarkin, aware of the Jedi's potential interference, has mobilized the Gar's elite clone troopers. Delta Squad, Omega Squad, and the Bad Batch have been dispatched to search the Undercity for Anakin. Clone Force 99, under the command of Tech, tracks Kenobi's movements closely. Tech deduces that if anyone can lead them to Anakin, it's Obi-Wan. They place a tracker on Padmé's airspeeder, shadowing the pair as they navigate the dangerous underworld. As Kenobi and Padmé forge ahead, their search becomes more perilous. They are unaware that they are being monitored, the shadows of their pursuers lingering ever closer. The hunt for Anakin Skywalker intensifies, setting the stage for a confrontation that could change the fate of the galaxy. Kenobi and Padmé make their way through the bustling streets of Coruscant, their disguises blending them into the throngs of people. Their search leads them to the Outlander Club. The neon lights of the establishment flicker as they enter, the atmosphere heavy with the hum of conversation and the clinking of glasses. At the bar, Kenobi orders a drink, his eyes scanning the room. Padmé stands close by, her gaze wary. A peddler approaches, offering death sticks with a sly grin. Kenobi gives him a disapproving look.
You should rethink your life,
he says softly, using a mind trick to send the peddler away. As Kenobi reaches out with the Force, trying to sense Anakin's presence, he detects a familiar aura, but it's not Anakin's. Instead, he senses the presence of clones and the imminent danger of blasters being drawn. Instinctively, Kenobi ignites his lightsaber just as Tech's blaster bolt whizzes past him. The shot deflects off his blade, and Tech collapses to the floor. Hunter charges in, tackling Kenobi and sending his lightsaber skittering across the floor. The scene erupts into chaos as Wrecker joins the fray, throwing Kenobi against the wall. Patrons scream and flee, the once bustling club now a scene of pandemonium. Obi-Wan, momentarily stunned, considers his options. As he looks up, he senses Padmé in grave danger. Crosshair has her restrained, his blaster pointed menacingly at her. Kenobi's heart pounds as he realizes he has no choice but to surrender to protect her and the child she carries. The clones drag Kenobi and Padmé into a nearby alley. There, Echo waits with a stern expression. Kenobi, still catching his breath, confronts Hunter.
What are you doing?
Hunter's gaze softens slightly.
We don't believe Anakin would commit treason without a reason. We're here to find out the truth, not to execute anyone.
Tech steps forward, his voice laced with concern.
Other commando units have orders to execute Anakin on sight. We want to prevent that. Echo and I have worked with Anakin before. We know he wouldn't act without cause.
Kenobi nods, his respect for the clones evident.
Then we need to find him before the others do. He's in danger.
The group, united in their goal, prepares to search the Undercity for Anakin. They know that time is of the essence, and that they must act quickly. The hunt for Anakin Skywalker has taken on a new dimension, with both allies and enemies converging on the beleaguered Jedi Knight. As they move out, the shadows of Coruscant seem to close in around them, the stakes higher than ever. Anakin's fate, and perhaps the fate of the galaxy, hinges on the resolution of this perilous quest. The search continues into the night as Kenobi, Padmé, and the clones comb through the Undercity. Hours of fruitless searching have left them weary, but their resolve remains unshaken. Their efforts are focused on a tip that Anakin Skywalker might be hiding in Club Kassakar, an old haunt from Anakin's past with Palpatine. The club's neon lights flicker as they approach. Inside Club Kassakar, Anakin sits in the shadows at the back of the establishment, his hood drawn low over his face. The familiar surroundings bring him a sense of twisted nostalgia, but they do little to ease his turmoil. The recent revelations and his own actions weigh heavily on him. He's haunted by the vision of Padmé's death in childbirth and fears for her safety. Despite the temptation to return to her, he knows that doing so would only put her in greater danger. His contemplation is abruptly interrupted by the presence of clones. Anakin's senses sharpen as he detects Delta Squad entering the club, their commanding presence causing a stir among the patrons.
Everyone out!
A clone commando orders, pushing civilians towards the exit. The sudden movement causes Anakin's heart to race. He knows they're here to find him. Gripping his lightsaber tightly, Anakin remains hidden, ready for a fight if necessary. As the last of the civilians clear out, he decides it's time to make his escape. He moves swiftly towards a back door, slipping through the narrow passageway just as the squad begins its search. The moment Anakin exits, a sniper round shatters the doorframe beside him, sending him diving for cover. Scorch's sharp-eyed precision is evident as he fires several more rounds in rapid succession, forcing Anakin to activate his lightsaber and deflect the incoming blasts. The alley outside is chaotic, with the sounds of sirens and blaster fire echoing through the darkened streets. Anakin races down the alley, his instincts guiding him away from the immediate danger. He emerges into a more open area, but his troubles are far from over. Additional clone commandos and troopers converge on the scene, creating a barricade of blaster fire. The crowded environment complicates matters. While it limits the clone's ability to shoot without risking civilian lives, the snipers are still able to target him from vantage points. Anakin, utilizing his agility and combat skills, deftly dodges and deflects the incoming fire, his focus on minimizing harm to innocent bystanders. The narrow alleyways and open spaces become a battleground as he fights to evade capture, the persistent threat of the clones and the uncertainty of his next move weighing heavily on his mind. Despite the chaos, Anakin remains determined to find a way out and protect those he cares about. The hunt continues, and as the danger escalates, so does his resolve to uncover the truth and seek redemption. The news of Anakin's location at Club Kassakar reaches the Bad Batch and their Jedi allies quickly. The clone commandos, along with Kenobi and Padmé, redirect their ship toward the district where the confrontation is unfolding. They arrive to find Anakin fiercely defending himself against a relentless barrage of blaster fire. Kenobi, leading Hunter and Wrecker down from the ship, immediately assesses the situation. He orders the clones to cease fire, stressing the danger to civilians caught in the crossfire. Commander Fox, leading the Coruscant Guard, dismisses Kenobi's concerns, fueled by personal vendetta. He demands that Kenobi leave, but the Jedi Master stands his ground, insisting that they need to uncover the truth and bring Anakin in for a fair trial. Fox's refusal to de-escalate leads him to order the arrest of Kenobi and the Bad Batch. Tensions flare as Kenobi and the Bad Batch confront Fox, urging him to focus on capturing Anakin alive rather than escalating the violence. Amid the chaos, Scorch, in a fit of frustration, fires another shot that grazes Anakin's shoulder. Reacting in pain and anger, Anakin uses the Force to choke Scorch from a distance. The remaining clones, witnessing this, shift into full combat mode. Kenobi ignites his lightsaber, creating a protective barrier around Anakin. Seeing the escalating violence, Fox orders the destruction of the Bad Batch's ship and intensifies the attack on Kenobi and Anakin. The battle becomes a full-scale bloodbath. Crosshair expertly takes down the snipers, starting with Scorch, while Wrecker and Hunter engage in fierce combat with the remaining commandos. Anakin, fueled by desperation, confronts Fox directly, cutting down the commander as he gets too close. With reinforcements pouring in, the situation grows dire. Padmé, from a safer vantage point, urges Anakin and Obi-Wan to flee. The seven of them regroup and, amidst the chaos, make a hasty retreat. They board the ship and escape the undercity of Coruscant, narrowly avoiding capture as they leave the planet behind. As the ship ascends, the weight of their actions and the uncertain future ahead weigh heavily on them. The struggle for survival and truth continues, setting the stage for the next chapter in their tumultuous journey. The galaxy reels from the revelations as Mas Amedda and Wilhuff Tarkin establish their control, declaring Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padmé as criminals. Under their regime, the Jedi are sidelined from the war effort, and the Jedi Council, though wary of Amidala and Tarkin's motives, becomes increasingly concerned about their actions. The Council suspects that Amidala and Tarkin might have orchestrated Palpatine's downfall and framed Anakin and Obi-Wan to consolidate their power. In hiding on Mandalore, Anakin and Padmé find solace and safety, with Bo-Katan Kryze offering them sanctuary. Anakin and Padmé begin their new life, raising their twins, Luke and Leia, away from the prying eyes of the Empire. Obi-Wan maintains covert communication with the Jedi Council, relaying Anakin's testimony and aiding in their quest for justice. The Bad Batch, now labeled as traitors themselves, collaborate with Jedi like Quinlan Vos and Thom. Their efforts lead them to Mustafar, where they capture CIS leaders and retrieve crucial evidence from Palpatine's office, exposing the Sith Lord's manipulation. With evidence in hand, Bail Organa and Mon Mothma help orchestrate an emergency Senate session. The damning evidence against Palpatine, Amidala, and Tarkin is presented, resulting in an uproar and the eventual ousting of the usurpers. The Senate, restored to its former state, clears Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padmé of all charges and invites them back into a reformed republic. That's it for today's story. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.